Good to see you again. Good to be with you. Have you ever been walking around your neighborhood and seen a lovely flower in someone's garden and thought to yourself, I'd like to transplant that flower into my garden? Here is a flower from the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu that I have transplanted into my garden as a follower of Jesus. I am going to read you the quote from Lao Tzu, and then I'm going to show you how to transplant it, or at least give you the idea about how this kind of thing is done. A noble man steeps himself in the way because he wants to find it in himself. When he finds it in himself, he is at ease in it. When he is at ease in it, he can draw deeply upon it. When he draws deeply upon it, he finds its source wherever he turns. All right, let's start with this phrase, a noble man. I want to translate that as someone who is seeking a godlike character, like that of Jesus. A noble man steeps himself in the way. Well, the quick translation of the way is simply to say, well, that would be Jesus. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. So, got that one. But I want to go deeper than just identifying the way with Jesus. Take a few minutes and bring to mind and let it sink in. What was Jesus' way of being? What was Jesus' way of living? All right. As a person seeking a godlike character, like that of Jesus, we steep ourselves in Jesus' way of being and living because we want to find it in ourselves. Well, many of us have found it in ourselves, at least from time to time, but some of us might not have. And I want to say something to you if you're one of those not yets. And even the have already will find, I think, some use for this practice. First, you have a belief. It has not yet become a spiritual experience for you, but you have the belief. For example, take this another from the same part of John, where Jesus says, abide in me and I in you. Well, abide means to stay or remain or to dwell. You believe that Jesus dwells in you, but you haven't really experienced it yet. So what do? You start with that belief and you raise that belief to the level of wholeheartedness. And you come back to that wholehearted belief day after day, week after week. It could take more than 3 weeks. But I've seen a lot of people, by 3 weeks, things are starting to happen. All right, so we steep ourselves in Jesus' way of being because we want to find him in ourselves. When we do so, we are at ease in it. This is the ease that Jesus talked about when he said, my peace I give to you. My peace I leave with you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Well, it's interesting. Some of these ways that the world gives, they're not the peace of Jesus, but they can serve as stepping stones to the peace of Jesus. I'm thinking about conscious breathing. I'm thinking about the Zen Buddhist Thich Nhat Hanh, uh, uh, who taught this practice as simply allowing the attention to rest on the breath. You don't quite try to control the breath. You don't have any expectations. You just peacefully allow the attention to be with the breath, in and out. Now, what this practice does is to enhance the harmony of mind and body. This planet needs a whole lot more harmony between mind and body. But that's not the peace of Jesus. But what I've seen happen so often is that people who begin to practice that, once mind and body are in peaceful harmony rather than anxious and struggling with this and that, then the spirit within can go to work much more effectively. So after a while of conscious breathing, there they are, experiencing the peace that passes understanding. Well, transplant my ideas into whatever feels good to you putting into your life. But I offer that in case you get some benefit. When you are at ease in it, we are at ease in it, we can draw deeply upon it. To draw deeply upon it is to be in that presence of God, the presence of Jesus, the presence of the Spirit, and to be able to draw on it. What does that mean? I think of God as having a storehouse of gifts, of goodness and mercy and truth. And we can draw on those. We can appropriate them if we lay hands upon them and then make them truly our own. Let's talk about truth for a minute. That's going to take us somewhere. Because when we draw deeply upon the truth, we find its source wherever we turn. And I wish to suggest that the Father is the source of the laws of the universe on matter, mind, and spirit. And when we see the physical surroundings and the nature and the living things and all that's part of that level, if we see some of the structuring of that realm by the Creator's laws, then we're recognizing the source wherever we turn in the natural environment. And when we see the intellect going to work and doing its thing, the mind and its attempts at wisdom, we know that there are principles like the golden rule of treating others the way you want others to treat you, and the loving the neighbor as oneself. And these laws structure the realm of the mind. Of course, a lot more to say there. But in the realm of spirit, when you see someone interacting so beautifully, and you can see that their connection with spirit is there, you're seeing also the source of that, the creators having established the realm of spirit, that without these laws of love, it's not going to be happening. So now you've got some idea of how to transplant this remarkable gem from Lao Tzu into the garden of a follower of Jesus. All good to you.